What role, if any, does government have in helping reduce foreclosures?
Let's ask our Bulls and Bears panel. Gary B. Smith, Toby Smith, Pat Dorsey, and Peter Schiff has agreed to stay with us very kindly. Thanks to all of you. Toby, first to you. What did you think of what Bernanke had to say today?
Well, I was sort of amazed that the head of the Federal Reserve would sit in front of a television camera and say, you better get ready for more bank failures, you better get ready for more foreclosures, and frankly, the real answer on our problem is for what's known as a cram down. In other words, taking equity off of the mortgages, reducing, giving a kickback to the owner of the home to take his equity lower, otherwise he's going to walk away. That was about the gloomiest thing I've ever heard from a Federal Reserve chairman. You know, he actually, I think, delivered probably some reality, but I don't think it was his place to get out there and be that way. He should have been saying that behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm sure the bankers in the audience were absolutely thrilled by that, Gary.
There was a lot of squirming.
Honesty.
But let's talk a little bit about solutions. And nobody wants to have thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of foreclosures and banks holding property that's empty and squatters moving in. I mean, you can't even imagine how bad the scenarios could be. But what do you think, from your brainiac mind, Gary B., is really the solution that would work here?
Now, you said Gary B. and then you said brainiac mind, so I got kind of lost on the translation there.
I'm confused by that too, Liz.
Well, yeah, I figured Toby would chime in, Mr. Win-Win over there. But I'll tell you what, Liz. You know, one part that you said, you know, we can't imagine the numbers and things like that. For me, that's the crux of the problem. No one has exactly said with any kind of accuracy how much damage this is going to be done on the economy. Yes, I mean, if you want to look at the individuals, you know, that are going through this, we can find a lot of cases, not just in housing, but in healthcare and everyone, where an individual is personally aggrieved. Does that mean the government needs to step in? In my mind, this was always a contract between lender and lendee that, good or bad, has to be worked out. So I can't find the case. No one's made the case to me yet with hard numbers why the government should be involved in this.
And Pat Dorsey, of all the things that the government should be involved in, lowering the principal of the house, I mean, that is so much further than just helping out those in foreclosure with their interest rates.
Yeah, rewriting contract terms doesn't sound like a great precedent to set to me. Just call me crazy on that front. And I agree with Toby that this cram down idea is what Bernanke should not have been saying, though, you know, delivering a dose of reality to Congress and saying there are going to be more bank failures, there are going to be more foreclosures. Folks, that's just what's going to happen when people bought houses at too high prices and when lenders made bad decisions. Because to your former guest's point, sort of what was the cause of all this, the cause was really simple: bad underwriting. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all it was, is people making loans to borrowers who couldn't repay them.
Okay, we get that.
And whenever that happens,
we get that, Peter Schiff, and I know how you feel about it, but put your brain cells to work here and tell us what a better solution, if it's inevitable that the government get involved. What's the solution?
I mean, the only solution, if there is one, is dramatically lower home prices. I mean, the underlying problem here is that people paid too much for houses. Other people borrowed too much money against the inflated value of their houses. So you have all these mortgages out there, but no collateral, insufficient collateral. So real estate prices have to go down, but nobody wants to admit that. No one wants to swallow that pill, because you've got millions of homeowners living in a fantasy that they've got home equity that's not really there.